You know what I feel like? I feel like it's Friday night, high school football. I feel like it's halftime and we're down by 3 touchdowns. And I feel like everywhere I look, I see 2 faces. And here's what I see. I see a face on a person who in their mind is already defeated. And then I look at another guy and I see a fight. I see a guy who's willing to battle, who's still got some fight left in him. And when I look at America, I'm seeing the same thing right now. Guys, do you remember back a bunch of years ago? You know, I'm 35. When I was 6, 7 years old, America was a lot different. In fact, I got a friend of mine. He used to be able to bring a shotgun to school. And when he left school, he would go out hunting. And it was okay for him to bring a shotgun. You know, back when I was a kid, I remember laying in the back window of the car. And that's where I rode when my parents would drive around. Do you remember that? Hey, do you remember your dad's seatbelt? Here's what your dad's seatbelt was when you were standing up on the front seat of the car riding around with him. It was his arm. He'd put it out. That's how he'd keep you in place, right? Because that was the time, guys, where Americans were confident. We knew we were going to be okay. And hey, it's our risk to take. It's going to be fine. Hey, do you remember, thought process has changed. Do you remember John F. Kennedy making this statement? He said, ask not what your country can do for you, but ask what you can do for your country. You know, I'm standing here before you and I'm wearing a shirt that quite honestly stretched me a little bit when I put it on today. It says, fight socialism. And here's what it does, man. It is a conversation starter, which to be honest with you is why it stretched me. I don't feel comfortable standing in front of you guys doing this, but I had so much in me. I had to talk to somebody. I don't know if you can relate to that. You ever been so angry you had to get it out? Okay? Quite honestly, I'm frustrated with where our country's going right now. And people see this and they think, fight socialism where? Didn't we already do that? Didn't we win? Okay, well, quite honestly, I got some questions about that. You know what socialism is? Here's what I've learned over time. Here's what socialism is. It's an ideology. It's a picture of a utopian society where, in theory, everybody works and we all share in the goods and services that are created through that work and we share equally. Sounds good, doesn't it? Here's the problem. Everybody's got a different definition of what utopia looks like. For one guy, it's laying on a beach on a towel eating grapes. For another guy, it's laying in a hammock as the nice trade winds blow on him. For another guy, it's painting a house. For another guy, it's hanging sheetrock. For another guy, it's roofing a house. For another guy, it's farming a field and working hard. Here's the problem. How long is that guy going to work hard in the field while the guy that's laying on the beach gets to keep as much food as the guy working in the field? How long is that going to happen? How's that different than you and I being in a restaurant and seeing a server who's working their guts out to give us the best service he possibly can give us, and then at the end of the meal, when we're going to go tip 22 to 25%, we tell the server, man, we appreciate your service. Here's a tip. Spread it amongst all the servers because I'm sure they did a good job too. Are they okay with that? Are you okay with that if that's you?
No.
Guys, things have changed. I'm not against a person. I'm not against a political party. I'm against a way of thinking. And quite honestly, this mentality, in my personal opinion, needs to get out. Because I'm starting to see it everywhere. You know, some people talk about America like it's an experiment of freedom. And that's the way that it started, quite honestly. It started as an experiment of freedom. People came here and said, hey, if you don't work, you don't eat. This is your chance to be an entrepreneur. This is your chance to provide for yourself. You're smart enough, you can do it. What happened to that mentality? Do you understand that liberty is real and that freedom is what provides liberty? Do you realize that? If this experiment in freedom fails, so does liberty around the world. When other countries have problems, who do they go to? Come on, guys. Let me explain something to you. You are the last line of defense. If you think another person's going to make the difference, you're wrong. That another person is you. This needs to change at the grassroots level. Once again, we're not against a person or a political party. We're against a thought process. So one more time, it's the 4th quarter. We're down by 3 touchdowns. Are you going to lay down or are you going to fight?